What's going on, y'all? I want to check out this video. If I'm not mistaken, it's from Andrew Wilson, and he's speaking on the two girls that spread false allegations on him. Right? I don't think we watched this segment, so let's check it out. See what he has to say. Don't forget to hit the hype button. Watch more videos after this.
Kyla is never going to do serious or significant pushback against accusations towards me about anything. And I don't know why you would expect her to. Ever.
Damn.
Anytime Kyla has been presented with any sort of moral dynamic where the choice is her actual Christian beliefs, which I'm not sure she even has because she constantly contradicts them by saying that they have no foundation due to Agrippa's trilemma, which is hilarious.
No.
Or materialism, whenever she has that dialectic in front of her between a materialist gain or her own ethical purview, she almost always universally makes the wrong choice. Basically every single time. I've never seen Kyla make a good moral decision, not even one time. Not once. That's why I've never had any respect for her at all.
Damn.
Ever. Never had the slightest bit of respect for her. Never thought well of her. Never thought highly of her. Never thought she was anywhere near my level.
I can't blame him. When someone's like spreading false allegations on someone, right? Like say I'm interviewing someone and you say something extremely crazy, some kind of crazy false allegation, I'm going to ask you for proof. I'm going to ask you, yo, you got receipts on that? And then if you don't, I'm going to make sure it's clear that you talking out your behind. Like, I don't know why there's like a bunch of nutbags on the internet that think it's okay to do something like that to someone. Or just because you don't like someone, you allow it. Now, I'm not saying I'm like the most moral person in the world. I do have a code. And I think that it's very important that I live by that code. It is what it is. I don't care if people don't like me. It's called having integrity. So if you're going to be a content creator and you're covering certain subjects, especially serious things and debating and all that, nigga, bare minimum, don't allow people to just blatantly lie on someone because they don't like them. Especially if you've worked with them before too. Like, come on.
Never.
Did she respond to this? Did she like have any, I guess you could say, any kind of excuse for why she thought this was okay? Yeah, I don't think this is okay. It's pretty disgusting. In fact, let me play the nasty song, not for Andrew, but for that woman that he's speaking on. Let me play the nasty song for her.
Yeah.
You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, yeah. You know your name. You
thought it. Not even for a second. I've just never seen her when there is a moral decision to be made. I've never seen her make a good one. Ever. When it came to her business relationship with Destiny, she knew exactly what Destiny was and she didn't care because of, well, I want all that material gain of bridges. I want to be famous and be on bridges, and this guy is a way to skyrocket me to fame. So I'll look past every single one of his horrific moral failings that I actually believe are terrible, like the fact that he married a woman, was in an open relationship with her. That should be against Kyla's ethics, but apparently she can see past that. The fact that she knows for sure that Destiny often uses his position, at least allegedly, as a casting couch so that he can utilize his position as a
lot of text messages got leaked. Destiny's a freaky frog, bro. That's a very freaky frog.
Famous content creator to leverage women for which he's done, who are often mentally ill. Again, this is alleged. These are the accusations against him, but it's not like there's no evidence for it.
I was gonna say you gotta say that, but there's a lot of evidence out there. You know what I mean? But you have to say that just to be safe. Allegedly, there's a lot of things or enough for me to not feel comfortable associating or wanting to be around Destiny. That's for damn sure.
When it came to the fact that he was being accused by Pixie, literally being accused by Pixie of basically handing out her tape to another woman who he was trying to spark a romantic fling up with.
He did that.
Kyla was accused by many content creators of going behind the scenes and trying to hush all of that up.
Oh.
That's what she was literally accused of doing that.
Why was she?
She has zero moral integrity. None. And never has. Ever. That's why when people are like, well, why didn't you expect her to do more? It's like, why would I ever expect her to do anything? Was there a choice here which could lead to material benefit over doing the right thing? Because I already know what choice Kyla is always going to make. Every single time, she'll always make the choice for material gain over moral integrity or doing the right thing. Every time. That's why I just don't understand why it is that people want so badly to just be like, why isn't there a big call out for Kyla here? What call out? What call out do you give a person who has spurious moral intentions and always chooses for the left-wing materialism over the entrenchment of the very faith that they espouse?
Well, I think this video would suffice. This is enough for letting us know. I didn't know she was nasty like that. I knew she was filthy. I didn't know she was rolling in the mud with Destiny.
Kyla spent an entire debate with me telling me that Christianity, from her view, had no foundationalism whatsoever. And when we got to things which she considered to be materially true, even though they were metaphysical concepts, she had no answer.
Wow.
None. She said, they're true because I believe them. That's it. Completely antithetical to Christianity and Christian ethics. It was one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen a person to admit. The chick is a contradiction machine. She's always been a contradiction machine. She can never reconcile the dualism. She holds dualistic ethics in her head. She wants badly to be recognized as an academic and gain the respect of secular ethicists across the board. But at the same time, she wants to be accepted by Christians who follow Christian ethics. And it's like these things come in conflict too much. The idea that she doesn't believe, she believes that her own view just reduces to dogma. And since it reduces to dogma, it's unjustified, completely antithetical to the Christian view. Totally antithetical. I asked her if the laws of logic
Thank you, Katerina.
exist. Yes, absolutely. Then she says, no, well, it's dependent on my mind. Well, no, it's not dependent. It's just a contradiction machine. And it's like, no. So, forgetting the debate for a second, regardless of how you think she did or didn't do there, which not good, but I've never seen her make the right choice once. Not saying that behind the scenes, maybe she does, I guess, but the only things that I've heard from behind the scenes that she does allegedly is try to hush up women who have legitimate gripes about having their tapes given to other women.
That's
she
insane.
Actually won. No, she didn't win.
So she could try to do a cover up for that nasty work, but bare minimum, she can't press the person that's throwing false accusations at somebody for actual proof. But when someone does have evidence of something to prove, she tries to get them to shut up. That's horrible, bro. That's mad nasty.
She reduced her own ethical system to nothing, which means that she has no grounds in which to criticize mine. And then
Guys, am I in sync? Hold on, I had to double check real quick. All right, it was like off for a bit. Booga booga booga. Just let me know if I'm in sync. It looks like I am. My bad, my computer.
He admitted that. It was likely one of the simplest debates that I've ever done in my life. I'm absolutely fine with you reducing my ethical system to preference as long as you're reducing your own to preference too. If it's all just stance dependent, then you got no grounds from which to make a criticism. Perhaps one of the most bizarre debate tactics I've come across is why it is that she wanted to get into the trilemma when she doesn't even understand what it is. She's talking about why you need to have grounding, which I brought up in the debate. Not that nothing can be grounded. It's just she didn't even understand it. She was reached out to by the Phil Bros. They tried to correct her. She doesn't care. She knows everything. You know, she knows fucking everything. So dumb. People are so fucking dumb. Why did she bring you a 12-pack of beer? She's sucking up. Kyla's always wanted me to have respect for her. Always. She'll never admit it. Ever.
Damn.
Like ever. But she's always wanted it. She's always wanted me to have respect for her. She's always wanted Rachel to have respect for her, but I've never had any. Ever. She's never done anything respectable. Ever. Not that I've seen. Never done a single thing respectable. Never made a good ethical decision in her entire online career as far as I've seen. And so when people are like, why is it that you don't you think she should have defended you more? That would have been doing the right thing. That would have been doing the correct thing. The correct thing would have been like, you don't get to come on here and call people that I personally know aren't this thing. That would have shown some actual moral integrity.
Or anyone at all without actual evidence at that. You can't just be throwing those accusations out all willy-nilly. It's crazy. It's going to be like the boy that cried wolf. Then if it actually happens, in any case, who's going to believe you when that's your go-to?
In some backbone? No way. You're asking for way too much from
What's up, Joy? How you doing?
An immoral troglodyte who has no ethical foundations, reduces them all to gibberish so that the secular leftists will like her better. She needs them to like her better. Someone who spent many years believing I was morally superior while actually being extremely selfish, materialistic, and hedonistic. I could see right through Kyla's facade. But I found God in one SB. Yep. Yeah, I refuted her entire argument in 5 seconds. I asked her if we were getting into it about Agrippa's trilemma, and I refuted in like 15 seconds. That no position has any foundation. And I said, does that position have any foundation? No. So is that position true? She said no. And I said, okay, well, then that's the end of that. And she said, oh, why are you running? I'm like, what are you talking about? It was just refuted. It's self-refuting, you idiot. Brian even brought up the definition. It doesn't matter. You can define things, right? You can do whatever. I don't even care about that. I wouldn't even give a if the chick just drubbed me in a debate or vice versa. It has nothing to do with anything ultimately. People are going to lose debates, they're going to win debates. It's irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. What is relevant is at any single time there has been a moral choice for this chick to make, she makes the wrong one.
That's one of the main reasons why I don't like debating anymore. It's because people don't know how to take a loss. And is there even an actual loss in debating when it comes to online? Not really. Right? If you have someone that's like super conservative with their conservative audience, and you have somebody that's like super liberal with a liberal audience, if they debate, no matter how it goes, the two sides are probably not going to really care. They're probably going to keep rocking with whoever they rock with. You think Hassan fans would be like mad if he lost a debate? I mean, debates he's lost, they probably still say he won, right? So that's one of the main things. It's really pointless. And also, I don't want to convince anybody of anything. I'm kind of like I guess you could say, pick for yourself kind of person. But one of the main reasons why I don't debate anymore is people take it so personally when they lose, though. Like if you debunk their points or even make them look stupid because they weren't prepared for the debate, they will try to destroy you. Like, I don't know, coming on here and spreading false allegations about somebody just because you can't have a conversation with them and win. It's pretty disgusting. Mad disgusting. You said, I still think what Charlie Kirk did with debating is important when talking stops violence begins. I understand that aspect of it. What he was doing was more so of teaching, right? Or even having lectures and things along those lines, right? When you see him or anyone who's doing I'm gonna go to colleges and challenge thought and then hear people's opinions, that's different from the premise of our online two social media public figures debating. Way different. I don't think there's nothing gained from that at all, besides, I don't know, viewership. It's nothing really gained from that. And from my experience in the hundreds of debates that I've had, I didn't gain a damn thing besides maybe making an entertaining video, a highlight reel. But it cost me more because people don't like to lose. You gave Charlie Kirk as an example. Rest in peace. Look what happened. You know what I mean? People can't handle looking stupid. They get so angry because you disagree with them. It's pretty foul, you know? Yeah, I agree. Online debating doesn't have much impact on anything. Word up. Other than entertainment. You know, I like seeing people lose debates too. But there's nothing really gained from it. If both people came in it from a honest, mature, I'm here to even learn type of thing, that might be different. But that's not the case when it comes to online debates. There's nothing gained.
Every single time, without fail. Somebody tell me a good choice that this chick has ever made in her online career when there was any kind of moral decision to be made, which was not self-serving, but actually could have hurt her. Oh, there's a choice, and I'm going to do the thing that's not completely self-serving and may even hurt me with my fans and base and things like that. Name one. It's never happened. Wasn't she mad at you when she left? She was very pissed. No, she did shake my hand, but she did it like this. She wouldn't look at me and put her hand behind her to shake my hand. Okay, whatever. She was pissed off because apparently it's bad faith of me. Do not let her be bad faith and derail. Once she decided she's going to derail a conversation on Christian nationalism into foundationalism and then refute her own foundations for it, that I wasn't going to just like let her get away with that. Apparently that's bad faith. Apparently I'm supposed to solve Agrippa's trilemma, this thing which is self-refuting, even though I solved it in 15 seconds when she asked me about it, but whatever. So that's the thing, right? Is like anytime I've ever seen there be a materialist choice or a non-materialist choice, which would have some integrity involved in it, inside of any dilemma that Kyla has ever done. Are you going to debate her again after this? I would have debated with her the next day. I don't give a... Her view, to me, is a nonsense view. But
I wouldn't have any conversations with this person.
She's easy to refute. And it's just followed by spurging. Great entertainment for me to go on and wreck Kyla. I've been doing it for years. Years I've been wrecking this chick. But it has no bearing at all on what we're discussing right now. Who cares about debate this or debate that? What I'm saying directly is that I've just never seen her make a good moral choice once in the entire history of her online career. Ever.
Horrible.
And so I have zero expectations. I've seen Andrew be so charitable to these women streamers and they just turn on him. Kyla, Grace, Sarah, the list goes on and on. Always. That's why me not following my own rule of working with female content creators was a huge mistake and one I'll never repeat, ever. These people only engaged in scripture to use it against Christians for being mean and defend their sin. True. She didn't take the unlikable comment too well. Well, that was, look, I always know when Kyla decides that she's going to move into bad faith mode, right? I always know exactly how you can beat her every single time. You just attack her ego. That's it. The woman's ego is the size of the Death Star. And you don't even really have to attack it.
I've met a few women that didn't believe that women had egos. It was just like, ain't that just a man thing? I'm like, are you insane? Do you not read definitions of words? Like, what are you talking about? I don't see no way. If I look up ego, it ain't gonna say only men. Let me see ego meaning. Ego is a person's sense of self-importance, identity, and conscious awareness. Represents the conscious mind that mediates between primal desires, the id, and moral constraints, the superego. I didn't see nothing about only men have that in the entire thing. But yeah, there's a lot of, especially in the online space, there's some women who egos are extremely crazy. Now, I'm not going to say all women, right? Or to say that I won't work with any woman. I've met men and women that have both egos have been through the roof and have done disgusting things like this because they feel as if you slighted them. Like, how dare you embarrass me? You're not me. Why I oughta? And then they lose their effing minds, bro. So where the best way is to just, keep your distance. You can roast them though, but keep your distance.
Why don't you just poke and prod a little bit and she'll do the rest. She can't help herself. She didn't take the unlikable comment too well.
Pokimane is an example. That's facts. Pokimane is a good example of a woman with a huge ego. I agree. It's a human thing. Facts. Facts. It's not just male or female. Anyone can have a huge ego.
Well, do you think that's why she didn't defend you with Tilly? Nope. That's not why. If Kyla ever showed an ounce of moral integrity about any fucking issue ever, I'd be one of her most adamant supporters.
Damn.
Whether she was a leftist or not. I'd at least be able to be like, you know what, though? Kyla usually does the right thing. I could at least say that. I could at least say, for all of her failings and her stupid worldview and like that, the one thing you can always give Kyla is that she does the right thing. But I can't say that. Fact's the opposite. The one thing you could say about Kyla is she almost always universally does the fucking wrong thing. It's like, so at what point am I going to have expectations that these people ever do take any moral action instead of just pure self-serving materialism? Just basically never. I'm just never going to have that expectation because they never are going to. I never have to be disappointed. I never have to be disappointed ever at the decisions that they make because I already know that if it's a choice between materialistic gain or doing the right thing based on your integrity, your actual moral foundations, I always know which decision they're going to make. I understand. I've seen her on videos for years and never had a good take in the Christian worldview. Never once. Drove me insane that her argument for why Christians can't hold power is that Jesus didn't accept a kingdom provided by literal Satan. And then she didn't even understand what the passage was about. I had to point it out to her. She didn't understand the reconciliation in Acts. Doesn't know anything. I don't even care about that. Be a moron or be somebody I think is stupid. I don't even care. I can deal with that. But for the love of all that is good, can you just make a right choice every once in a while? Like, you would think that you would just make it by accident at this point. Like, how do you make so many wrong moral decisions? You would think that you just accidentally made the right choice at some point. Oops, I accidentally made the right decision. That's how many bad choices this chick has made. Nope, sure is. If there's a wrong choice to be made, she's your girl. I've watched her in the space for like 4 years. I think closer to 5 than 4 even. Does she even have substantial material offered to her where someone could at least justify it to some extent? Nope.
I doubt it.
She had a show she was doing with Destiny called Bridges, which was the most boring you ever saw in your life.
Ew.
The entire attempt was Destiny attempting to be the new Joe Rogan, yet with a female host for reasons nobody understands. But that was what he was trying to do. I'm going to get on, leftist and people like this, and we're going to do the Rogan thing where I just ask some questions.
Was that actually a show? Wait a minute. Destiny had like a podcast called... Let me see. Do I remember this? Bridges. Okay. I see a Bridges podcast, and this is Destiny's. Well, I started showing me Destiny Child. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, I'm on their channel. They haven't uploaded in 10 months. I see a few people doing segments and interviews on here. Says bridges political divides across the internet and mainstream media. Here we are willing to talk about ideas, policy, and politics. This is insane. This is crazy. I see a few famous YouTubers that signed up for memberships for this too. Okay, y'all living a different lifestyle, huh? Of course, FD Signifier would be on here. So did he like slowly back out? Up, I see it now. Okay. I see him and homegirl, Kyla, or whatever her name is now. Yeah, they definitely were hosting it. And then I guess he started letting other people replace him. And I guess she was still doing interviews on here. This probably didn't go well. Yeah, this channel is definitely done. Are they still putting out shorts? They haven't uploaded anything in a long time.
We kind of talk in depth about your view and this and that. The problem is he ain't no fucking Rogan. They never understood the pulse of people and what drives them. They never understood that you have to appeal to people who are in the main street, and those are average individuals. These are not people who have tons and tons of time to research every issue. These are not people who have the luxury of being able to spend but maybe an hour or two, or sometimes only 3 or 4 per week on politics and what's going on in the world. And so for most people, the construction of conversation is a better way to move ideas in and out. They wanted to do this, but they don't have the necessary charisma. Why do you think Destiny hates Rogan so much and is always seething about him? They tried to be left.
Some people got it, some people don't. I've noticed that on this channel too, that most of the people that they talked to and interview were extreme leftists. So much for bridging the gap, right? You say, I got haters out there too, and I don't even got a channel. Yo, that's the way it be, man.
Between Joe Rogan. And he couldn't do it because he can't appeal
I had haters before I had a channel, so
to that audience. Sense. There is no appeal. What is the appeal? Anyway, that's my take on Kyla. Like it or don't like it.
Yeah, I think she's trash 100% for the way she handled that interview. You don't let people spread false allegations on someone just because you lost a debate to them. That sounds crazy. That sounds very nuts, but that's my opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section. Hit the hype button. Also, watch more videos, man. And if you are able to, check out my new channel that's more personally for me and about me called BX Beast Boy IRL. Should be able to find it somewhere, maybe the last community post.